What is going on, everybody? This is Brandon.
And this is Bryce.
Welcome, everybody, back to Weekly Wrap of your favorite comic book review show, going live every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time / 5 p.m. Pacific Time. If you guys are new to the show, welcome. If you are a returning member of the channel, thank you guys so much. And like we said, this is a show where we talk about the books that we read over the past week, discuss them, let you guys know what we thought about them. And it's just going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great books coming that came out this week, and a lot of cool stuff coming up. And if you guys do have a question or you guys do want to chime in at any time, feel free. Like, we got Sheena already in the chat. She says my BFF is first. Her and Nova are ready to go. And Nova is her dog. We got Alonzo, Comics and Pops. He said, let's go.
What's going on? Let's
go. We're ready to go over here. A lot of new comic books coming out. I do want to take a quick second to do some house cleaning. Kind of with a few announcements coming up tomorrow. As you guys know, I'm going to be live with Will Portastio doing an interview with him at 9 p.m. Eastern Time /6 Pacific. That's going to be a lot of fun. I don't need to tell you guys who Will Portastio is because he's been in comics long enough to gain that kind of traction. And Bryce and I just did an interview with Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad on Wonder Woman. And we do have some stuff going on with them in the future that will be announced very, very soon.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're super excited to announce it. Bryce, do you just want to talk about it real quick on the live, or do you think we should hold off?
Let's wait till we can actually have something to show for it.
We're going to have something to show for it. Boom. And we got John's Comics with Kids saying, what is
going on, John?
If you guys did have a book that you read this week, make sure you let us know in the comments below. If you are in the live chat, thank you so much for being here. You guys know what's up. And if you guys are catching the replay, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. That way you are supporting what is ComixKings, and you're supporting Bryce, myself, and Ryan whenever you see him shortly. But let's jump in to the books. First book that I want to talk about is Guardians of the Galaxy number 14. This is by Al Ewing, and the art is by Juan Frigeri. Bryce, I think we should just drop it.
You think we should just drop it?
But you guys have to wait for us to talk about Wonder Woman in order for us to talk about it.
Won't be too much longer. Don't worry.
It won't be too much longer, but you guys just give us about 15 minutes-ish, 25 minutes. But we will get there, 100%. We'll get there.
Or we can just keep talking now, build up the suspense.
Yeah, we can just build up
drive Comics and Pops crazy.
Yeah, drive Alonzo crazy. Drive everyone crazy, because if they love Wonder Woman, or if they do like it, then we'll just keep it going, you know? If we're cutting to commercial break, we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy number 14 by Al Ewing and Juan Frigeri. This issue has teased Dr. Doom coming onto the team right before his wedding that I don't know was timed, but sure. So the whole premise is you have two teams, okay? One is in the capital of the Kree-Skrull Alliance. That is Nova, Rocket, Moondragon, Groot, Star-Lord, and Gamora. The other team is running point, trying to take away the ancient Skrulls with their Skrullios mythology, because that is like a big problem right now. They will eventually merge. This team B is Quasar, which is Philavel. I mispronounced that 100%. Okay, and then you have Marvel Boy, Drax, Quasar, and then the Super Skrull, who is like running point between the two teams and coordinating everything. Okay, all the communication is basically through the Super Skrull and Moondragon, who I think is the freaking queen of this whole run, is Moondragon. She is my MVP of these past 14 issues. If you don't believe me, go back and read. But so the whole premise is Dr. Doom takes Hulkling's sword, and Hulkling don't like that, so they fight, and Dr. Doom merges himself with Hulkling, and then he takes away Wiccan's powers. I cannot speak today. I've had a long day. So then on the flip side, those ancient Skrulls, they're trying to say this prayer, heaving and hawing, and what they're gathering from that is they're looking for a planet in order to revive this person from their lost magic that is like kind of being brought back. So they need a planet that has been everywhere and anywhere throughout Marvel history. So we learn that is Ego. Okay, now Victor Von Doom coming on the Guardians team is in a very Victor Von Doom's way, as he is trying to take over the minds of every single Guardian of the Galaxy until Moondragon comes and snaps him out of it in just like a Professor X way, and it's awesome. Okay, so as that is going on, Victor Von Doom enters the mind of Rocket, and Moondragon's just like, yeah, I don't even have to like use my powers to get you out, because while you could just completely kick all of our asses, you would look so adorable doing it. He's like, screw it. And so we learn that basically Ego has gone into hibernation. He has turned into like this big ball of darkness, and he's like in an egg form now. So it's like whatever's going to be hatched is going to destroy the universe. So the next issue we're dealing with, Victor Von Doom joined the Guardians to stop this, and we are going to see the Guardians team plus Dr. Doom meeting Abigail Brand and Magneto with Sword. And that's awesome. Where we're left. So you really want to tune into the next issue. You really do want to pick up issue 15, because I guarantee you there's going to be an awesome moment between Rocket and Magneto, Abigail Brand, and Victor Von Doom.
I might just have to then, because Sword, I've said it before, Sword's one of my favorite books coming out right now.
So, yeah, and Sword has been fantastic, and I'm loving it. So you really want your mutants meeting the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's going to be great, especially because I really want to know Rocket's reaction to the whole Krakoa explanation.
Yeah.
And he is already in like his James Bond kind of mode. So I love it.
Yeah, Ego apparently going through his emo phase.
Yeah, so definitely do that and pick up that issue. It's great. Bryce, you read a book this week, didn't you?
I did. Speaking of Galaxy, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Star Wars issue number 13 came out.
Oh, yeah.
And this book was incredible. The entire run's been incredible so far. Brandon can tell you I have not shut up about this run since I've started reading it.
Yeah, I wonder who told you to read it.
My buddy George Spock, actually, if he's watching.
I told you.
And Brandon, yeah. Both of you guys played a hand in that.
This run has been so enjoyable. And Charles Soule is like Marvel's unannounced guru of Star Wars. Pretty
much, yeah. Like he's even writing like the High Republic, some of their novels.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much he's setting up the future. Basically, is how much he knows about this universe. And so this pretty much, what's up, Vindicated? For sure. This basically picks up right where War of the Bounty Hunters and issue 12 left off. It's the definition of what a tie-in should be, in my opinion.
Right.
So we start off Luke's training in the Force. He has his awesome yellow lightsaber, which I'm loving. And we see him kind of remember stuff Master Yoda's taught him, and along with some stuff from A New Hope when he was training with Ben. So you can really see how far he's come. Meanwhile, everybody's got something to tell Luke. What's up, Flash?
Yeah.
Everybody's got something to tell Luke in this issue. R2 has something to tell Luke. Chewie has something to tell Luke. 3PO, as always, has something to say. But throughout this issue, we're mostly focused on Chewbacca. And he's basically...
Aren't we always like focused on Chewbacca, though?
Yeah, to be fair, we always should be focused on Chewie.
Always focused on Chewie. I mean, he's Chewbacca. He's like the...
right? But he basically says he knows... Like, he has some intel as to who or where Boba Fett might be, and they know that Boba Fett has Han. And so they go to track him down. Well, they go to... Is it Tatooine that they end up on?
No, they go to Narshada, which is where...
Narshada, yeah.
They go to Narshada, which is where the sighting of Boba Fett or some good-looking dude who mysteriously has the same armor. But it's Jango.
That's okay. Yeah, it totally Narshot. I don't know why. Maybe the Huts. I automatically associate Huts with Tatooine.
Yeah, you got a little Hut fever right there.
For sure. But yeah, so apparently Chewie has a friend there named Sagwa, and I love Sagwa already.
I love Sagwa. That guy's just like a complete plug. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I would never, if I was a stranger, I would never risk my life the way Sagwa did for these guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's a G. Like, but they find out that Boba Fett. They find out that Boba Fett, known as Jango, had fought in this tournament in War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha. If you haven't read that, definitely pick it up. And they try to get information, but they don't find any. And so the Hutts, who encountered Boba in the War of the Bounty Hunters issue, cut them off. And basically are making them atone for Boba.
Right. Which is completely like everything that the Rebel Alliance would go through.
Pretty much.
Oh, and by the way, T-minus like 5 minutes before we drop the announcement that is coming with something that we already talked about earlier. So
building up the suspense. I like it.
We're building up. Justin already knows. So Station,
Justin. Yeah, so they're going to go. They're basically trying to take these guys in. Luke ignites his lightsaber, and they're like, "Hold on, this guy's a Jedi. They know all about Order 66. They know that if you see a Jedi, something's up."
Oh yeah, this guy's special.
And so they want to take him in, kill the Wookiees, dismantle the droids, everything. They want to get paid for the Jedi, and they know the Empire will pay for a Jedi.
Right.
So basically, yeah.
Go.
So basically, the next few pages of them trying to escape, and they end up escaping. Luke shows some awesome feats with the lightsaber and with the Force. And so they end up getting back to the Falcon, to which we finally get to see what R2 says. And it's basically R2 has so much information on the Jedi Order from when he was on the Death Star in A New Hope.
Right.
And so that could set some stuff up. Luke's like, tell me everything. And we could really, that's setting up Luke's progression throughout the rest of this run, post War of the Bounty Hunters.
Right. And that's kind of where we're going to be going next with Luke's storyline and kind of like segue into how he's able to grow in between the two movies. What this is really doing, it's giving us a story as to what is going on in everything we want in the Star Wars universe that was never touched on originally, which is Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker.
For sure.
The fact that Charles Soule is doing that, I'm on board with. Also, the main event is going to be drawn by Steve McNiven and Luke Ross, and they are two names that have been in comics for years, especially some guy named Steve McNiven who happened to draw Civil War. I'm in.
100%. That's if you look at Luke between A New Hope and Empire, and then from Empire to Return,
right?
The amount of Luke barely changed or barely grew in the Force between A New Hope and Empire. But you look at Empire and Return, they're two totally different people.
Right, 100%.
So this really gives Soule a lot of room to do his own thing and get Luke's development on his own. But one more thing I want to touch on the last page. Sagwa comes in. He's now on the Falcon. He basically tells 3PO, who then tells Luke that they've just received contact from somebody who claims to be in possession of Han Solo.
It's a trap. Admiral Ackbar, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
That's coming. But anyway, guys, the big announcement that Alonzo was so adamant on knowing about. Alonzo, you are getting your wish right now. The big announcement before we talk about Wonder Woman number 772 is Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan are sending a few signed copies, 3 signed copies of Wonder Woman 770. This is my copy. This is not a signed copy, but it's an example of what the cover looks like.
Yep.
Okay. They're sending a few signed copies of Wonder Woman number 770, the first issue of the run, and we are going to be doing a giveaway for you guys on the channel. So more details to come because we will also be throwing in some other goodies, but they are contributing as well, and we are collabing with them to do a awesome giveaway for you guys. Just our little way of saying thank you and a little meaning behind it to say, go read Wonder Woman. Also, check out the interview, which was a lot of fun. We talked about Wonder Woman in a way that I never thought we would talk about Wonder Woman before. Wait, that sounded weird, but not that way.
We talked about how great of a run this has been so far and how this might be the best issue so far.
Yes. So let's get into kind of what happens in this book. We get a big reveal that we talked about during the interview that we did not want to spoil. So the whole premise is Wonder Woman wants to prolong Ragnarok to the point where it doesn't happen. Ragnarok, as we know in Thor and the Asgardian mythos, is the destruction of Asgard.
Yep.
So in order to get the key to the Valkyrie so she can convince them to knock this shit off and to bring the people who died back into like the universe, she hides herself in an egg to get swallowed by a giant snake to get the key. And while she's like inside of this snake, also the art by Travis Moore is phenomenal, and the coloring in this book is unlike anything I've ever seen from a Wonder Woman book. And
100%. This almost reminded me of Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Like from the colors.
The colors are so vibrant. So every time Wonder Woman dies, there's some schmuck behind the scenes who's bringing her back. That schmuck is someone we have not seen in comics in a very long time. If any of you guys know Tony Oldwolf 85, you know exactly who I'm talking about, and that is Deadman. Deadman is the one who has kind of been behind the scenes, right? So he revives her, and she gets like shot out by the snake, and Deadman is there to tell her you need to go to Olympus because she's slowly bringing back her memories as she's like seeing more things that remind her of who she really is, right? She's lost her memory, but her character has really stayed true. So the big reveal that we did not want to talk about is Deadman. And it's fantastic because I love the fact that Deadman is in this book. Like, it just works.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Throw a Flash by Night's comment up there. That's actually kind of funny. That does fit 100%. Trojan Snake.
Trojan Snake, yeah, that could be it, right? So now she is trying to go and find the Valkyries, and we just get more moments with her and Ratatosk. Ratatosk is the squirrel in this book that is phenomenal. Not the squirrel I saw when I had ADHD in the car this morning, but the squirrel that was, in this book. If you guys have ever read Saga, this is like Lion Cat, but
Ratatosk actually says more than one word.
Yeah, but we get more Dr. Psycho in there, but he ends up leaving, and she arrives at the Fortress of the Valkyries. So we're going to be dealing with that in the next issue. The mythos in this book is phenomenal, right? And I know this has like a lot of Asgardian features. It's not a Thor book, and the Thor and what we know in Marvel as Thor is completely different than the Thor in here, because this is actually throwing it back to what North mythology is all about.
We've only even seen Thor in this like twice.
Yeah, and he's like kind of a goofball, but
he's a douchebag.
He's a goofball douchebag. He is a douche, but this is like a very Game of Thrones type thing. We got Eric, the man with the mustache. Look at that mustache. That is one beautiful mustache. Station to you, sir. I hope you are having a good night, and I hope that your Ash is able to pull someone like Wonder Woman, because this book is phenomenal, and it needs to be on your pull list.
Needs to be on everybody's pull list.
Also, you guys can enter our giveaway in a few days for a signed copy. There will be 3 winners. I'm still working out the details of the prizes. I know Tier 1 is going to be getting one of my 9.8 slabs plus one of the books. I know the second one is going to be getting a signed comic plus a 10-book mystery box of one of your favorite hero. I know those are 2 things that I want to do for you guys, and I don't know what I'm doing for the third winner yet. You might just get that book and something else. But
really excited to bring this to you guys. We have been ecstatic about it for the past 2 days and could not wait to announce it. Station, Manny.
You guys will be seeing more of Becky and Michael on ComixKings, maybe to even shoot the shit on a Saturday. We don't know yet. That's all we know is they will be back, and we do have long-term collaboration plans with them. They are good friends of the show, and you guys will be seeing them a lot more. So definitely buy Wonder Woman, or else you will continually hear me ride your ass to tell you to pick up this book.
Me too. Me too.
And I
believe me, I'm stubborn enough to keep this going. Okay.
Okay. So if
you want to shut up about Wonder Woman, buy Wonder Woman.
You buy Wonder Woman. Do it. Contact your LCS. If you got to order a second print, order a second print. If you got to go buy it on eBay, screw it. Buy it on eBay. But try not to do so. Buy this book, guys. It's a great read. And that's kind of like the basic rundown of what is going on. It's great. The art's great. And you guys will. It's definitely the biggest sleeper book in DC right now. I genuinely think that it is DC's sleeper book. It's better than the Superman book. I love Philip Kennedy, but it's better than the Superman book.
It's right there with Action Comics for me.
It's right there with Action Comics. Wow. And I know you like that a lot, but
the Action Comics is phenomenal.
In my opinion, it's up there with Tynion's Batman.
See, Tynion's Batman's lower on the list for me. I'm about to talk about one of my favorite Batman books right now, though. And it's neck and neck between this and Detective Comics for my favorite Batman book, and that is Batman the Detective.
I just read this like 5 seconds before the show. I like said it.
By Tom Taylor and Andy Kubert with colors by Brad Anderson. This book, if you're a fan of miniseries, this is a book you need to jump on. It's only 2 issues in. It's very self-contained, so it's not a large commitment, but it's worth it, especially 2 issues in. So we open up with Batman is interrogating this dude as only Batman can. By that, I mean he's hanging him upside down from a clock tower. Very Batman Begins-esque.
Right.
And so he basically does what he needs to do to get his information, saves the guy, and goes about his detective work. You know, that's basically kind of what he does. Not much has changed in this futuristic time period as far as that goes. Right. So we go back to where Knight, that's her name. Knight is in the hospital from the previous issue. And Knight, Batman, and Squire are just talking about what they're going to be doing, what the mission is, and just what they know so far. And so
I don't think Alonzo liked your judgment of James Tynion's Batman run, and I will be sure to tell you that when I see him at Third Eye Comics on June 12th. I got my VIP pass.
Issue 108 was phenomenal, but as far as the entire run goes, it's overhyped in my opinion.
You know what's overhyped? Your opinion. I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay. I
feel like I have 50-pound weights under my eyelids right now.
That's that energy drinks you've been.
This is only my second. Plus
today?
Coffee. Yeah.
Good Lord.
And I almost fell asleep after work today, and I'm.
And so we go back to where the Batman imposters are stationed. The dude that Batman was interrogating at the beginning was one of theirs. And they're like, wait, you escaped from Batman.
Yeah, nobody escapes from Batman.
It's like that doesn't make any sense. So the head honcho, she's not buying it. She wants to, check him out. Turns out Batman bugged him. And so now they've got to pretty much abandon ship because Batman knows where they are.
Yeah.
And if you remember from last issue, their entire mission is to wipe out everyone Batman has ever saved. And so Batman saved this dude when he was interrogating him. And so Batman pops.
Yeah, that's the new term. # Batman posters.
# there's a bat among us.
Station Travis, the man who is always in 500 plays at once, multiple man. Welcome to the chat. And
multiple man.
He even called Bryce not Guy Gardner. Oh wait, never mind.
No way. Give it a second. Yep, correction. Guy Gardner. You know what? Travis, if you ever find something Guy Gardner and you just want to send it to me, I will display it proudly. As much as I hate Guy Gardner, I will do that for you.
Travis, if you ever are on Lamer Frame when they're drawing Guy Gardner, if you just draw Bryce and send it to him, I think that's satisfying.
Yeah, just draw a picture. But yeah, so the head lady's like, wait, Batman saved you? And he's like, yeah, actually, no. Like, he's trying to correct himself, but we already know what's going to happen. This dude's dead now.
Yeah, he's very dead.
He's gone.
I think the art in this book is really the highlight for me. I don't think this is Tom Taylor's best storytelling. I think Nightwing and what else has he done? I think Nightwing and Suicide Squad, he's definitely had a much better story structure. But this artwork is
Seven Secrets.
This artwork is such a throwback to the Grant Morrison run. I just can't help myself but admiring all of Andy Kubert's angles that he is taking with Batman, and I dig the costume. I think Kubert is literally the highlight of this book.
This costume is very much like the Nightmare bat suit from the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, but it's just so much better.
Yeah.
But we don't acknowledge that scene in the Snyder Cut because that was not that good.
I liked it.
No, that scene was not necessary.
I didn't love it like I did the rest of the movie, but I liked it. And Alonzo, Seven Secrets is a phenomenal book.
Right, but no one talks about it because everyone's talking about his other work, and I've never stripped on a live show before, but hey.
Basically, Batman's on a train, and somehow
Cajun's TV.
Cajun.
Oh my gosh! I don't even think Tom has gotten that treatment. Look at us.
Woo!
Oh my gosh! Woo! That's a big moment for ComixKings, guys. Holy crap!
And one of his former mentors, named Henry Ducard, ends up finding him.
Yeah, and I think that was fun, because at least Batman has connections, and we're kind of seeing that come full circle. I think that fact, at first I was so off board of the fact that he wasn't in Gotham, but I think the colors and the art is literally bringing me into it. Because
I kind of like the fact that he's not in Gotham.
Yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying it. I always say this about Batman books. If they were spaced out, right? If you have 4 great Batman books, but you're reading them all at the same time, you're not going to appreciate them the way you would if you read it in trade. I guarantee you I will enjoy this book so much better in trade because of the fact that you have 2 great Batman books out right now in the Texas Comics and Tinian's run. This book just blends in for me. It doesn't stand out in any way other than the art.
See, I think it stands out as far as one time period, 2 location. It's the same Batman that we're used to getting, but different enough to where I still look forward to this book every month.
Seven Secrets is a great indie book. I think we might be doing that on the show sometime soon.
I would love to.
So maybe we will if we get enough turnout, we get enough interest for it. But right now, I don't see myself talking about that book for an hour.
Issue 8 came out this week. I'm really looking forward to diving into it. Haven't read it yet, so we'll see if it keeps up.
Yeah, I have it right here. It's just I'm waiting. Give me after Saturday, and I'll be able to do more.
You got a busy weekend.
Wilson's like it's busy, and I gotta prep.
But yeah, basically Bruce and Henry are just kind of talking back and forth. Henry's basically saying, "You need me." Batman's like, "No, I don't." This goes on for 2 pages.
Right.
So sooner or later, the bad imposters, as I believe Manny put it, find Ducard. They end up killing him because Batman once saved him. Batman saves his dying body, and the bad imposters get away.
Right.
Much better than issue 1. and I'm really looking forward to seeing where the story goes. Like Brandon mentioned in trade, if they make a deluxe hardcover for this, I'll definitely be grabbing that.
I think there will be. I don't think there will be deluxe because there are no variants that they'll want to showcase. Maybe they'll showcase the script or the original art. I don't see this book being seminal enough to get a deluxe. And I think this is literally a what was it? A Batman's Grave type treatment where you're just gonna get it and then it'll be collected in a hardcover and that's about it.
Yeah.
And they're not really doing a great job advertising this book, mainly because you have a bunch of Batman books and they're advertising the one that Robertson is doing, which it's terrible. It looks awful, and it's just not. Yeah, it looks horrible. So I think they're advertising it enough to promote it on the digital platforms because it is a digital first story. And then the Garth Ennis one that's coming out because Liam Sharp has been out of work for a year.
Now, I will say they're advertising this better than they are Detective Comics, which is probably the best Batman book coming out right now.
Yeah, I agree, and I think once like Tamaki does something huge with it, it's gonna come in. But I have to rant about this book because I've never hate. This is the first time I stopped halfway through a book because I was so mad at it. I didn't want to finish it. Now, yeah, we are, and also because my book has this weird ass printing error that I posted on my Instagram story today. But for some weird reason, like this book is like printed so weird. Like, see how like it prints like white at the bottom? It's like it cuts off like at the top. It's so weird.
I mean, that shows what Marvel thinks of this book at this point.
This book is garbage, and it's a Spider-Man, the King's Ransom #1. It's by Nick Spencer, who cannot write Spider-Man. It's
a giant size.
I will not use giant size to destroy the name that is what the X-Men did. It is stupid sized King's Ransom. It's so stupid. And Travis, bro, you're TM nerdy.
Sure.
Travis, I love you, bro. I know I'm weird, but don't ruin my moment, bro. I am just so angry.
Right?
No, it's because this run. I was in a good mood today. I was in a great mood today. I had a great day at work. It's Friday. The Bad Batch came out. Speaking of the Bad Batch, I think they're almost all here, except for Nick. But
is Robbie in here?
Robbie is not part of the Bad Batch. He is good. Guys are Bad Batches.
Fair enough.
You know, like they're all made differently, you know. But yeah, the art is by Roge Antonio, who was on Conan a little while ago, and it's also by Carlos Gomez, who's a talented artist, and Z Carlos, who I've never heard of. Colors are by Nick Spencer. Okay, so where we left off is Spider-Man linked up.
I think he does, Travis. I think he does. Get this juice box out of the.
Brandon Brandon, man, I do hate.
Don't make Brandon angry. You wouldn't like him when he's angry.
No, I need Nick Spencer to get off the book. I will be very happy. That's what I need. Everyone email Marvel and get this guy off the book and put Jen McKay on this. I need a drink.
Or Donny Cates.
Okay, so when I was listening to Robbie.
Okay, Manny, that cleared it up. Okay, he's Rex. Makes perfect sense.
Nick Spencer is a good writer. He wrote a very good Ant-Man story. However, Secret Empire was probably one of the biggest disgraces in comics, and that's right up there with the Spider-Man. I think he asked himself, how can I make people matter? You know, it's bad enough when you have to turn the comments off of your own post because you get so much traction. It's bad enough. But anyway, so Spider-Man teams up with the new Avengers, and they even say Avengers Assemble, which pissed me off. Okay, the whole prime, yeah, so Spider-Man hired the new Avengers, being, that's cool.
Kelly Thompson's doing a great job right now, so yeah.
I would love Kelly Thompson to do it. Yeah, he is, yeah, I agree. Jen McKay is very busy, and I love Jen McKay. I think Jen McKay has a lot to say about Spider-Man. I can't
wait to see him on Midnight, though.
I think he has a lot of words to say about Spider-Man that's like fun and fresh, which is why I would like him there very much.
Could do a Spider-Man Black Cat story with Jen McKay.
Yeah, and in the fact that he's like kind of tying things into Spider-Man means like I just want him to do something more with Spider-Man. But anyway, So he hires the new Avengers, which consists of Wolverine, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Hawkeye, Iron Fist, and Spider-Woman, to hunt down and track Boomerang. And he also has Gog. So why you need Gog to go hunt Boomerang is irrelevant when you have Wolverine, the best tracker in comics. I don't
better than Gog. Better than Gog.
You know what? You know who's better than Gog?
Every other dog in comics.
Cyclops is better than Guy Gardner. And Cyclops sucks.
Ouch. I'm right here.
Yes, I'm sorry, Guy Gardner, but
only Travis can call me Guy Gardner.
Oh, I'm getting hugs. I'm
only Travis can call me Guy Gardner.
I'm getting hugs. God, thank you guys. I yes. So we're dealing with all that, and so the Lifeline tablet is in the possession of Boomerang because he took it away so he wouldn't like hurt anyone. Nick Spencer is worse than anything in the Marvel universe right now. But anyway, that's my professional. I'm not an expert, but that's my professional opinion. So they're dealing with everything, and the little manhole they used to find Gog is now being surrounded by everyone who is hired to hunt Boomerang because Kingpin told them to go there. Who has heard of those guys who keep saying #retcon Doomsday Clock or whatever it is? So, I think really the biggest thing about Doomsday Clock is people just want Jeff Johns to come back into comics and actually do something for DC. Doomsday Clock was supposed to be the whole Kickstarter of DC Rebirth, but because Jeff Johns was so busy directing, producing Titans and Stargirl at the time, he was literally kickstarting most of the new stuff on CW. He didn't have time, and it just got
and HBO Max.
Yeah, and then everything got just squeezed into to the last 3 issues, got so rushed. So Doomsday Clock was really not one of my favorite books, so I try to avoid it. But
speaking of Jeff Johns, can I just express my surprise that Geiger #2 actually came out on time?
Yeah, I'm very sure, and I think that Titans is already fully filmed, so I think Geiger is like his kind of redemption with Gary Frank. With Gary Frank. So anyway, back to this book. So we have them kind of going into the sewers. Spider-Man has to go into the sewers to find Boomerang because that's where Gog led him to. The new Avengers are fighting all of these rogues, and they just keep coming on the streets. So at the same time, you know that suit that Nick Spencer completely created so he can have some royalty in this new Spider-Man game? Yeah, that one. But
the screwball suit where he streams all the time?
Jonah Jameson is live streaming Spider-Man in the sewers and fighting. So the signal cuts out when he meets Boomerang, and he is just getting his butt whooped by people that Boomerang used to be in the works with, like Shocker, Hydro Man, right? And then Boomerang says, "Hey, I really was never a hero, Spider-Man. I got the Lifeline tablets so I could figure out where you hid the last one and give them all to Kingpin." So Kingpin brought Kindred into the fold so he can end up bringing back his son.
Didn't they just do this whole redemption thing with Boomerang?
Yeah, but that's wash because he's really working for Kingpin. That's what it got. That's the big reveal, and I'm so mad at that. So Geiger, your boyfriend got you into comics 2 years ago. That's awesome. And Geiger is a fantastic book. Geiger's a fantastic book. We're not going to be discussing it on the show today, but Geiger is great. I have not read the second issue yet.
I haven't either.
It's
maybe we'll talk about it once it wraps up because I think it's only a 6-issue story.
Right. Got a dip. See you tomorrow, Station, my friend. We'll see you around, my guy. But so that's what we're dealing with. Black Cat ends up stealing the Lifeline tablet, but that was fun because that's something she would totally do. And then she ends up taking Spider-Man back, who gets knocked out by Shocker and Hydro Man and Boomerang. And there's just too much for him to deal with. Kingpin brings back his son, and he's like, "Yeah, Kindred, I was just using you because you were in the way of everything," even though he really wasn't. Now, here's my other question. Spider-Man gets rid of the suit that was used throughout this arc. And also, if you are roommates with Peter Parker, right? And you know you're hiding the Lifeline tablet. Why wouldn't you go out and put the two together, especially if you're really working for Wilson Fisk? This is just horrible storytelling. And it was not, it just wasn't good. And I'm giving this run the benefit of the doubt because there were good moments. This book always has good moments. Every issue, there are moments that I genuinely think that Nick Spencer has something in mind that he really wants to do. But we're getting the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery Civil War soon, and Kingpin's son is here, so that's where we're really left off of.
Watch Sinister War just blow you out of the water now. Like, watch it just be one of the best things you've read.
I've never been so mad. This book is a waste of time. Don't read it. I'm gonna read it because it's Spider-Man. But don't. I might just be done after this issue. I might just be done. I'm honestly at the breaking point with this book to where it's just getting removed.
Oh man, I would love to see a Spider-Man book come out in tandem with, or like at the same time as this run, with everything that isn't going on in this run. I feel like that would be a more cohesive story.
Every villain and not paying any of them off. Why would you have villain after villain hunt down Boomerang just for him to turn like a full 3 or 180? You know, it's like I'm like literally
every villain to hunt down Boomerang. And none of them have worked.
Why is Boomerang so important in the first place? Why would you?
Why is Boomerang like a god? How has nobody caught him?
Now, you know why people actually enjoy Batman 50? Because that suits Catwoman's character. It was never a redemption arc for Catwoman. It was never a redemption arc for Bruce Wayne. Why does this not work? Because you're taking a villain in Spider-Man, you're turning him good, but you're flipping the script after that was literally surrounding most of what you did in the first place. Goodbye. No.
How do you really feel?
How do I really feel? I feel like I'd rather root for the Ravens and buy another issue of Spider-Man, and that's coming from a diehard Steelers fan. Justin, you got your wish. I would rather put on a Lamar Jackson jersey than buy another Spider-Man book by Nick Spencer. Ooh. Do you guys hate Marvel because of their movies? Because I saw some of the Retcon Doomsday Clock guys saying that Marvel is trash, all because they hate the MCU.
I love Marvel movies.
I love the Marvel movies. I think the one thing that I think the MCU is one of the most revolutionary industries in that platform. Right? There are so many different guys who are making movies that are trying to aspire to them, you know?
Yeah.
And I think DC is trying to mock them, but now they're realizing that
that's not their
setup is they have to go to the TV route on HBO, and that works for them. I'm very glad that they're realizing that.
For sure.
But I love the Marvel movies. Some of them are better than most, but I'm able to walk away with them with a smile. And you know,
now I'm a big Marvel Netflix fan. I love the MCU, but if you had to ask me my preference, I'm going Marvel Netflix all day.
Marvel Netflix. The fans love Spencer's superior foes run with Boomerang. That's why you see him in the current ones. Yeah, because when he first introduced Boomerang, it was a hit because we haven't seen Boomerang in so many years. I even enjoyed when Boomerang came in the first place, but it just got dragged on, and you can't write a Spider-Man book that's surrounded by Boomerang. I just don't think that will hold water, and people are realizing that now.
How long has Boomerang been around?
Boomerang has been around since, I think, the second volume. He had his arc. I think he was really in there, but I think that was the bulk of it.
Hey, Brandon, you want to talk about an incredible Spider-Man book now?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to talk about a good Spider-Man book.
Spider-Man Spider Shadow by Chip Zdarsky, Pascal Ferry, and Matt Hollingsworth.
My drink just attacked me.
like Spidey in this issue.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, the background is the theme of this week.
This is probably my pick of the week.
Yeah, Bryce. So Iron Fist.
Okay, everything but Iron Fist. You look at Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. Fantastic. Luke Cage had some ups and downs, but the casting was A tier. Was God tier for Luke Cage. But Daredevil and Punisher definitely elevate it, and we don't talk about Iron Fist. But yeah, so if you remember issue 1, Spider-Man basically killed Hobgoblin after he blew up Aunt May, basically.
If you've read that giant-sized, that stupid-sized King's Ransom, I would very much beg to disagree. No take back.
I'll take the good with the bad because Daredevil and Punisher were so great that we can take Iron Fist and have it as a weak link. That's like that's like having LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the same team as like Kyle Singler.
I will literally. Whoa! Kyle Singler went to Duke, so shut up. Second off,
I'm a huge Duke fan. Kyle Singler sucks in the NBA.
Second off, LeBron and AD could be great on their team all they want. They're going to be losing to the Clippers in the playoffs this year. I don't care what you guys say.
Oh,
it's the Clippers' year. It's our year.
Oh, good Lord.
Hey, Alonzo's from LA. Oh gosh.
But yeah, so when Danny Rand was in an episode of Luke Cage, he was good. I would agree.
His own series just never was able to I don't think they had enough of the budget to really continue with it. I think the reason why Daredevil works so well is because you don't need a great budget in order to make Daredevil work.
Danny Rand was tolerable in Defenders too.
You know what, Alonzo? Playoffs. I'm telling you, playoffs.
See, I'm a Heat fan and a LeBron fan, so you can imagine how much the 2020 finals got to me.
I can imagine exactly what's going on.
But yeah, so basically we open up with this interior conflict between Peter and the symbiote before Peter just gives in. That's his whole thing, is he's just given in.
Right.
And so we see him still kind of not really conflicting about the fact that he killed Hobgoblin, but the fact that he doesn't want to look bad because of it.
So he kills more people. That's a solution.
And so, yeah, he basically kills more people, starting with maiming J. Jonah Jameson.
He didn't kill him, though.
He didn't kill him, but he maimed it. Did you see what he did to his hand?
He broke his hand in 2 places.
Oh, more than 2. More than 2. His fingers were all over the place. That finger is not supposed to bend that way.
I like the fact.
He webbed up Robbie Robertson too. Why are you gonna do that?
Yeah, see that. Well, I love the moment. I love how Chip Zdarsky writes the dialogue of what is going on in all this. It's fantastic. These are all the moments in the Spider-Man book or in a Spider-Man what if story that I would love. It's just so powerful of seeing is what the symbiote can do to you. It's awesome. Yeah, see, no.
The Nets don't have enough chemistry.
No.
You got 3 alpha dogs. Binge watched Invincible. Oh, you were.
And here are the Raptors.
I wish I could experience Invincible for the first time again.
Yeah. Read the book.
But yeah, so basically Spider-Man has accepted the fact that he's going to be more brutal and he's going to be a straight up criminal.
Station Fable.
And so we see him and MJ have an exchange where Peter basically tells her that he's made his decision, that people need to live and people need to die in order for this to be effective. It's real,
right.
We're really seeing why Peter Parker would have been a bad fit for the symbiote in the best way possible. The way he kills Scorpion. My God. I'm a Lakers fan.
I'm surrounded by these people. Where are my moderators? Oh, wait, he is a moderator. Damn. Fable.
I'm not even a moderator, you jerk.
You're always with me here.
That's fair.
Plus, you're a Packers fan. Those don't deserve mods.
I am a Packers fan. But yeah, the way he killed Scorpion was phenomenal. The way he killed Shocker,
yes,
was probably so grotesque that we didn't even get to see it.
Oh yeah, because he kills him and throws his arms back at Wilson Fisk.
And he threw Scorpion's limbs back at Wilson Fisk right before he kills Fisk.
Yeah, he just punched his face in.
Now, okay, this is where I draw the line, Chip Zdarsky. You don't kill Wilson Fisk.
You can kill Wilson Fisk.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna be happy about it, but
you still have so many other Spider-Man villains.
That's fair, and they're meeting up on this next page. We get a Sinister Six lineup with J. Jonah Jameson kind of as their informant.
What is you guys' favorite movie or TV show?
My favorite movie is The Social Network, and my favorite TV show is Marvel's Daredevil.
I'd have to say Daredevil is probably one of my favorite TV shows. However, I love The Mandalorian. My favorite movie, I don't know. I really like Empire Strikes Back. I really do.
Actually, here since she asked about a movie, I'm going to give all you guys a recommendation. If you're a sci-fi fan, which I'd imagine you would be if you're tuning into a comic book show, Arrival. As soon as you're done here, go watch Arrival. You will not regret it. Might be a little boring for some of you, but if you get into it, you will.
Today.
Huh?
Someone else recommended that to me today.
Arrival? Oh, it's phenomenal. Same with Blade Runner 2049.
Right.
You guys can prepare for Dune coming out this fall, but this isn't a movie show, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, Dune. I got to watch that when it comes out.
I bought the book today, so I'm excited to dig into it.
There you go.
But, yeah, basically, Doc Ock is kind of making the Sinister Six as, like, the anti-heroes of this. Like, they're trying to stop Spider-Man before he ends up killing everyone else. So Zdarsky's kind of flipped the script and made the Sinister Six the good guys.
It's great. It's really great. Looking
before Eddie Brock kills Doc Ock,
and Eddie Brock got very cheated in the last issue. In the first issue, that was like a plot point that I didn't see really coming back to harm anything, but it's great.
Yeah, Eddie Brock basically disguised himself as one of Doc Ock's henchmen and just killed Doc Ock.
He backstabbed him.
He literally backstabbed him. So it's really like we're going to get Evil Spidey, the Sinister Six minus Doc Ock, with Eddie kind of like – Eddie's almost kind of acting like that like Black Panther in Civil War, where he's just after one guy.
He's laughing at what you said. He doesn't like Doomsday Clock either.
I still need to read it just so I can experience it. But yeah, Spider-Man Spider Shadow, best Spider-Man book on shelves right now. Read it.
Right. I read Joker. It's by James Tynion IV and Gilliam March. Now, I enjoyed this book, and I don't like it. I love the artwork, and I love how Gilliam March is able to change up his style to kind of match Brian Boland back in The Killing Joke, because this is James Tynion's favorite Batman story.
I didn't know James Tynion liked the Joker.
Oh, really? It's also able to kind of modernize Joker today. So The Killing Joke was in 1988. This story is in 2021. There is a very big difference between that. That's almost 30 years?
It's a little over 30 years.
A little over 30 years, right? Since Jim Gordon, sorry, why did I say James? Since Jim Gordon and Joker's kind of spat, and yes, Jim Gordon is scarred, and we see that there's nothing new being added to their relationship, and that's the one thing I don't like. Is I am a huge fan of The Killing Joke, just like everybody else. It's my favorite Batman Joker story, and I think it's one of the best well done comics of all time. You talk about a single issue, that is the best single issue you're ever going to find in comic book history, and it is an unbreakable book that nothing will probably ever come close to, unless Jonathan Hickman decides to write a single shot of a 64-page giant. But it's fine. As we're going on with the story, not a lot happens because we're so busy looking at what Jim Gordon is thinking about on his trip to go find Joker in Belize, who is on a vacation because he's rich and Batman is broke. Joker's rich, Batman's broke, and Jim is hired to go kill him by the Court of Owls, but that is unbeknownst to Jim. Batgirl, who is now who's Oracle, Cassandra Cain, who is Orphan, and Stephanie Brown, who is spoiler. They are hired to they're looking into who hired Jim Gordon because Barbara does not trust the man or the woman who hired her dad to go kill Joker. He arrives at Joker's doorstep and goes to shoot him with the pistol, but Joker's like, "Hey, do you remember what happened when Arkham got gassed and blew up and Bane died?" He's like, "Yeah, that wasn't me, but people are out to kill me now. So you have to fight." Meanwhile, we see a lot of people coming in, and Vengeance, who is Bane's daughter, is about to get her vengeance, but it's misdirected vengeance. So we don't see much of her, but this is like nothing really new There's nothing new in this book that makes me really like it, and I loved the second issue. I didn't like the first issue for all the reasons why I didn't enjoy this issue. I liked the read, but as far as a Jim Gordon book, that's what it is. It's a subline Jim Gordon book. While I know a lot of people have not celebrated what is the Killing Joke, and that is fine. This is new to a lot of people. This is very old to a lot of different readers. So that is okay. I'm saying right now that I am very up and down in this book. I love the art style. I will continue to buy it because it's turning around. It's entertaining, but it's nothing new. And it's almost like it's on a replay of I want them to do something new and grow up other than the Killing Joke. And I think James Tynion can do that. I think he has a whole lot of potential. He's the best at bringing in new things to the Batman universe. He needs to do that in this book.
Which maybe after this arc. Maybe after this arc, if he gets the Killing Joke stuff out of the system.
And I feel like for every Batman seminal writer, you do two things. You talk about the Killing Joke. Any new Batman story, you talk about the Batman-Joker relationship. That's what he's doing in this issue. So, and you recap Batman's origin story. And he's doing this,
which that's what I love about the Batman title right now is where we're getting so much Scarecrow, which is somebody that I feel like hasn't been touched on as much in a while.
Yeah, and I enjoy that. And even though like it's new for people, I'm not taking away your enjoyment of it. That's not what I'm saying. I know there's a lot of people. This isn't Jim Gordon book, so don't get distracted by the title. We're getting Joker more in flashbacks than we are in the actual story, which is another big miss for me. It is definitely building towards something because obviously if you're retconning something like the Killing Joke, you have to match that energy when your payoff comes due. The payoff for Tynion's retcon of the Killing Joke has not come due yet, so I will read it and be excited for that. Because I love that and I want to see that energy get hyped. It's like when Jeff Johns was ripping off Watchmen. When it came due to match that energy that Alan Moore did, he failed, and that's what the biggest flaw of Doomsday Clock was. That's what I'm saying right now for this book, is when you're retconning and you're almost mocking the art style of Brian Boland. This is a clear-cut scene from the Killing Joke, which
that's gorgeous.
It's drawn beautifully, but my biggest concern is, can you match that energy? And
which that's a valid concern. Like if you're taking inspiration from something, you're going to get compared to it. So you automatically have to be thinking, how am I living up? Am I telling my own story that I want to tell? But am I keeping the energy that I'm drawing inspiration from?
Right. And I think Tynion can do it, which is why I have a lot of trust in this book. I'm just not the biggest fan of retconning this relationship in this way. I think there are many other moments to where you could analyze the Joker and Jim Gordon relationship. And I think of a book that has had so much past, but it's still relevant. You can still do something new with it, right? There's a time in comics where you can move on from the original source, and I think that with Tynion bringing in a new age of Batman characters, it's time to do the same with this relationship.
Yeah.
However, I'm enjoying it.
You're enjoying it enough that you want to keep reading it, but you also want more, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I just want something new to come. Like we're a lot of times when there have been we just came out of a renaissance of Joker stuff, the movie, the books, right? And everyone has their own tale of Joker, and I have a hard time figuring out what Teen's is right now.
Yeah, Joker War and 3 Jokers coming out at the same time, a year after the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix came out.
Right, and when you look at everything, it's nothing new of what we already know about Joker.
Yeah.
It's nothing. That's why I just want someone, instead of recapping this person's vision of Joker, this person's vision of Joker, what Jeff Johns has to combat what Grant Morrison said about Joker, I want a James Tynion voice of Joker, and I don't think we have really entered what James Tynion has to really say about Joker or anything new. You know, I want a new perspective of, oh, wow, like I want to walk away from this book and think. I think a good Joker book is when you're able to walk away and critically question your decision-making process. That's what made the movie so good. That's what made Batman Damned so good. Even though Joker wasn't really in it, but when you're
questioning reality after reading or watching something Joker related, it did something right.
Right. And I didn't do that with 3 Jokers. The only thing I thought about was, why in the hell is Batgirl in Red Hood a thing?
It's not. She rejected him. Joker War was great.
Joker War. I love Joker War, but at the end of the day, there was nothing new added to Joker as a character.
And they're talking about Watchmen. I read Watchmen last year for a class. It was good. It was good. It's not really my cup of tea, but it is something I would give a reread just to make sure I get everything.
Right. Watchmen is a very revolutionary story, and it's something that every comic reader should have read. I didn't enjoy it for the way that other people enjoyed it for. And it's not for me. That book is not for me. I understand why people love it. It's just I haven't gotten the same enjoyment out of it.
It's like it's one of those things for me where I didn't enjoy it as much because, one, I had to read it for school, so that automatically took some enjoyment out of it for me.
Can I ever see a new villain taking the mantle of the Arc Nemesis for Batman? I can. I think you can get something very similar to Joker, right? Keep in mind, just because Joker is the biggest villain in Batman comics doesn't necessarily mean he's everybody's favorite, right? So, and that's kind of subjective, right? Because the biggest arch nemesis can be like, okay, something that Scarecrow did could really affect Batman. You could argue, someone who's read Batman since Bane was introduced can argue that Bane breaking Batman's back scarred him the way that Joker scarred Batgirl and Jim Gordon.
It's okay. So I was actually just thinking about that. The difference between Joker and Bane is Bane has done more to Batman directly, whereas Joker has done any and everything to everyone around Batman. He's not targeted Batman as much because he has this sort of sick love for Batman.
And I actually really agree.
Ooh, yes.
I think if a writer can utilize Ra's al Ghul in a very similar way that Denny O'Neil did, you can have Ra's al Ghul be a huge villain. I would love to see that happen. You know, he was just an Outsiders by Brian Hill, so I don't think we're going to see him for a little bit.
Here's what I'll say about Ra's al Ghul. I don't really consider him a villain the same way I don't really consider Mr. Freeze to be a villain. I personally don't consider Mr. Freeze a villain. I think he is. It's like have you ever heard the saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions"? That is Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is not villainous in nature, and I don't think Ra's al Ghul is as much.
I think he's definitely twisted. He has his own agenda. But it's very
Plus the respect that they have for each other.
It's contained to him.
The respect that
Ra's al Ghul, in a way, if you put Ra's al Ghul versus Joker, I think Ra's al Ghul could outsmart the Joker 120%. And the way that the Joker works is he's so manipulative, and that's his biggest strength.
Well, okay, so yes, 100%. That's why Magneto is probably my all-time favorite villain.
100%.
But you mentioned Ra's al Ghul and Joker though. Do you not remember Under the Red Hood?
I do.
The Joker pretty much tricked Ra's al Ghul in that. He was like,
there have been a lot more modern takes on Ra's al Ghul.
Fair.
But yeah, that's Joker number 3. It did its job. It was more of a filler for me, and I would like to see more. I would like to see more because I know Tynion has it in him.
Oh, 100%. Tynion's doing some great work right now, and I think he's just a step away from that being
right. So this book isn't bad. It's a good book. I want more. I think it's underwhelmed. It's underwhelming right now, but I think it's gonna, again, like I said, once the due time for Tynion to pay off everything he's doing with the Killing Joke comes, I think he'll deliver. In the meantime, it's just a concern for me. If this is new to you, and you're very much enjoying it, go back. I would suggest go back and reading the Killing Joke because it is a very seminal run. I asked for a lot, no, but I understand the expectations of James Tynion, in what he's doing with Batman. So that's why I want more, is because I know he has it. Because he's brought so much to Batman already in such a short amount of time. I think he can do it with Joker.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody's not writing up to their fullest potential, their audience is always going to want more because they've seen what they can do.
Like, I know what he can do, and Joker War is a prime example. He wrote a fantastic Joker story. Again, and he has a lot to say about Jokers. I don't think it's in his tone right now. I think it's he's trying to fit it in Alan Moore's tone. I don't think he's in what James Tynion wants Joker to be. And he's definitely been into his bag. The Department of Truth is literally, if you can put Joker and his tone for Department of Truth together, that's Tynion's Joker that I want to see. But so that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, Joker's incredibly smart.
Joker is incredibly
way possible.
I think he is. I also understand that Ra's al Ghul is everywhere and anywhere.
Ra's al Ghul is basically immortal. He has the experience to outsmart Joker.
So you understand that Moira McTaggart in the X-Men universe has 9 lives. Ra's al Ghul has 1 million. So
I mean, him and Vandal Savage are right there.
Yeah, so I'm not totally the reason I love Donald Blake right now. Yeah, because Donald Blake is the hero of his own story. And that was a great payoff to his character. And it felt like a passing of the torch from what Jason Aaron established into what Donny Cates finished. And I think that's how you really just move on from what the other person did and give it its respect and wrap up those characters.
Speaking of Donald Blake, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Donny Cates' run on Thor right now is going to be an all-time run. Yes. And a run that gets people into the character.
Right. And you don't necessarily need to read the Aaron run to understand what's happened to Donald Blake. It's very much put into that book. It's great. And I think the next volume, you're really going to see what Donny Cates' plan for Thor. 100%. I really think the 3rd volume is going to be like his prime. Like he's entering his real story. I don't think we've gotten his real story yet. And we do have another Chip Zdarsky book to talk about. Who's been another very hot name in comics, who I think should win the Eisner for Best Writer.
But, please. Book that I didn't even know I wanted or needed. Justice League Last Ride.
Right.
And Brandon, do you want to talk about this one?
I could talk about it. Yeah. So let's go. So the art is by Miguel Mendoza.
Yep.
So what has been so after death metal, we're introduced to the different multiverses, and this book is taking place in the different multiverse. This is an Elseworlds story, so don't confuse that with everything going on in the Justice League timeline. You're getting a lot more suits. You're getting a lot more stuff. The premise is the Justice League have been disbanded for a fight that happened between Clark and Batman, and Wonder Woman is caught playing babysitter just like she always is. And it's great. Chip Zdarsky really understands how each of these characters operate, which is the biggest reason why I loved it. While the Bendis run lacks in these character moments, Chip Zdarsky is making up for it in this run. It was originally a digital first run. Okay. The one thing I don't understand is when we open up to Lois Lane in the Fortress of Solitude, she's in a tank top and like pajamas. She's like in pajamas and she's not wearing sleeves. So I don't understand how you're not freezing your ass off in the Fortress of Solitude. But anyway,
maybe there's like some Kryptonian heating system in there.
Yeah, but everyone gets a call to go back to the Justice League, and it's like something that no one else really understood why it happened. The premise is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Oa has kind of something's been going on with Oa, and they need to hide the person who has been wreaking havoc throughout the multiverse or this Earth in Apocalyptos, which is outside of continuity in the world of Darkseid. They need to hide Lobo. So Hal Jordan appearing in his awesome Emerald Dawn suit, which I love to death, enlists the Justice League. And Jon Stewart is the one who is like kind of playing point man in this, which is a lot of fun because you get to see Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart and Jessica Cruz and Kilowog. They're all working together in this story too, which is again something that we haven't seen in a very long time, and everything about this book is there and perfect.
Yeah.
So I love it.
It's great. We find out why Clark and Bruce have been mad at each other.
They're because it wasn't about their mothers. They didn't say their mother's name.
Yeah, their moms' names weren't. I mean, their moms' names are Martha, but that's.
Well, take care. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have fun watching.
Take care. Thank you.
I don't want to spoil what my thoughts of the show were, but okay. But have
Still
fun.
Need to watch the show.
I read the book and it wasn't anything special, but too bad Zdarsky can't write everything. All you ever hear about is how much he understands characters. I think he really does. I think like so the way that I've always explained this is you have your universe builders. Okay. Scott Snyder, I think, is a universe builder. I think Jeff Johns is a universe builder. Al Ewing and Jonathan Hickman.
I would put Donny Cates right.
I don't know if Donny Cates is in that category yet because his event was so character driven in Eddie Brock.
Fair. He's knocking on the door though.
I don't think he built a universe like okay. Al Ewing built a universe for Hulk. He built a universe for Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think Donny Cates is really building a universe, much less he's telling a seminal story about a specific character. But that is yet to be seen because I really don't think Donny Cates has reached his full potential as a writer yet. I think this is Chip Zdarsky's full potential. I don't think he's a universe builder because he is much better at character moments and understanding how things work in comics.
Yeah.
You have your character writers, which are Chip Zdarsky, Tom Taylor. Teenie Howard is a character writer, which I'm just seeing her name right there.
Yeah.
Peter Safran is a
Tom Taylor, Chip Zdarsky have taken character writing and made their books the best books at their respective publishers. So, I mean...
Right. So that's why I think Chip Zdarsky is the best character writer that is in comics right now. If you put Chip Zdarsky on a book, I trust you 100%. I trust it 100%. I will buy it. I don't, even if it's Cyclops, even if you're at the Cyclops one, I'll do it. Christ and Infinite Reigns. That was a fun show yesterday.
Oh man, that was interesting.
Yeah, if you guys haven't taken the liberty of watching Christ and Infinite Rants yesterday of every Tag Team Thursday video, definitely go check that out. I talked about characters that suck. We had a good time. It was all in jokes, all fun and games. At the end of the day, their contributions to comics are something that is noteworthy to say. It's just they're not for me.
Now, do we want to talk about why Bruce and Clark are mad at each other?
you can go ahead and mention it. I didn't, but I thought that was the mystery of the book. But you can go ahead and talk about it.
I mean, you know what? It is a mystery. We'll let people read it and find out why. Basically, but basically at the end, they go back to Apocalypse as only the Justice League can.
I would say Kelly Thompson is 100% a character novelist, and same with Jed MacKay, most because they take characters, right, and they just understand them. Jed MacKay understands Taskmaster to a degree that not a lot of other people do. And Kelly Thompson is very good at writing niche characters and elevating their status. I would even consider Jessica Jones to be a niche character. She definitely did a very good job with that. Her Deadpool is enjoyable, even though I don't necessarily like Deadpool. I like that story. Yeah, Kelly Thompson, I would say 100% is a pure character motivated writer. And same with Jed MacKay. It's very hard to find your universe builders in comics. They come about once in a lifetime. Chris Claremont is what you would put in that category. Jim Shooter, Marv Wolfman, they are universe builders.
Jim Starlin
is a universe builder. Your writers like Steve Englehart is very character driven. Danny O'Neill is very character driven. So there's definitely a niche to be said about that.
Frank Miller, another great character writer.
Miller is a great character writer. And we could talk about this for days. I think Kurt Busiek is another underrated character writer. Jeff Loeb is a character writer. And these are just some of the legends. Brian Michael Bendis is a universe builder.
Hey, this is a show right here.
Right.
We can make a show out of this.
We could make a show about this. You might see this on Crisis on Infinite Rants. Joshua Williamson is a character writer, but yeah, that's kind of like the breakdown. Like when I envision a universe builder is they're able to expand. A universe builder affects everything, right? It affects everything, and it has like that trickle down system that you kind of saw in the Reagan era of the United States, but or the
Justice League Last Ride.
Yeah,
great Justice League book, much better than Bendis's, and even though it's only a 7-issue miniseries, definitely give it a shot. You will not be disappointed.
100%. We have a lot of next books to talk about.
How many came out this week? 3?
3, but I'm going to give a brief overview of the last 2. I think what people really want to know about is X-Corp, and I love the cover.
The cover's great. Honestly, so much happens in this, but yet nothing happens at the same time.
Yeah.
Basically, this picks up from House of X and Powers of 10, where they are introducing these mutant drugs to get their amnesty, and this is where they're distributing them through X Corporation.
You know what really sucks is I love Bendis. I love Bendis in Marvel. Yeah. I haven't really enjoyed much of what he's done in Superman.
Like, I don't hate Bendis, and the Justice League book has some fun moments, but like Nick Spencer's Spider-Man, it does not deliver.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of when you're trying to achieve a character moment, there's like where you're trying to go and the fact of getting there. And for a lot of what Bendis is doing, I can see where he's trying to go. It's just he's one line away, or he's like a change of dialogue away. It's almost like I understand where you're going, but you're not quite there. With Marvel, I think he was a universe builder, and I think that he was more of a Marvel fan growing up than he was a DC fan. And he understands the way Marvel comics work much better than DC's. His runs in Marvel are very, very good. They are some of my favorite stories. House of M is a great story. His New Avengers is a great story. His Iron Man is fantastic. I'm sure I'm missing a lot. His Moon Knight and his Daredevil are fantastic.
I still need to read Age of Ultron, but that looks incredible.
Yeah. But his DC work, I don't think it's not achieving what the Bendis expectation is. And that's what we were kind of talking about earlier, is how do writers set their own expectations. I think when you've written seminal run after seminal run in Marvel Comics and you go to DC and you haven't delivered, I think that lowers my expectations for Bendis. He keeps lowering them for me.
I'm not a fan of Naomi being the central character either.
Right.
In Justice League. I don't know. But X-Corp, I honestly really enjoyed this book. I thought 48 pages was a bit much. But if this were like a 36-page issue, I think it would have been great. But we open up with Angel and Monet doing a commercial for this X corporation. And
I do like Naomi. Sorry. I do like Naomi.
And I heard his Young Justice was really good too.
Right. I think Philip Kennedy Johnson, I think he does have the potential for that. Right now, I think he's doing a lot more fixing than doing in the Action Comics story that Bendis decided let me mess up. But Alien is a great book, and you can stay tuned because 2 Wednesdays from now, I will be interviewing him. So great. You guys have that to look forward to as well.
I will be tuning into that for sure.
Oh, yeah, and I can really ask him, who let Salvador LaRocca draw himself on the book?
Please don't ask him that.
Who let Salvador LaRocca draw himself as the main protagonist? I want to know.
You will get, I guarantee he will like block you.
And I 100% agree that The Last God is proof of this. I
got introduced to PKJ with Superman, so Last God is on my list.
I think if you can do Last God with like Justice League Dark or like a Conan, I would love to see that guy write Conan. Oh my gosh, that guy needs to write Conan.
But yeah, basically they're just ironing out logistics. They go meet with Professor X, ironing out more logistics. Monet is kind of, I wasn't a fan of Monet in this issue at first. She kind of got better as it went on, but she was kind of a jerk.
Right.
Angel was great. I love Angel. And I love seeing him finally get his due diligence in this new X-Men world.
Right.
But Monet's got a meeting. She is going to get this board of directors for their X Corp, I guess. And the first person she recruits is Trinary, which I thought was an interesting choice, but I could also see it fitting.
I would love that to happen.
Yes, please. And
anytime John and Damian meet, right, all John has to do to stop Damian is just reach his hand out in front of him while Damian just runs into his hand like a little kid. That's just the way that I envision that going down.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, at the same time, while Monet's getting her board of directors, Warren is in Brazil meeting with one of their, one of the prime ministers or one of the corporate guys from Hoxbox. And he basically just said, you know, I don't like the deal. I want to alter it.
Right.
Warren's like, no, that's not how we do things.
Big hurt, bro. I think we're both with you on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, basically this issue is just Monet recruiting her board of directors, which after she gets Trinary, she goes and gets Multiple Man, which I love.
Right.
I think he'll be a great fit in this series. And Warren is trying to deal with this crazy business dude in Brazil who all of a sudden doesn't think a binding agreement's good enough for him. So it's a lot of little moments like that until Monet, Trinary, and Multiple Man have to go rescue Warren, and we get this awesome shot of the X-Men helicarrier, basically.
Right.
To where they were going to one of their labs in the Savage Land, which Cole, as I think his name, has rigged it to blow up. Multiple Man doesn't like that. He wants to go save it. But Monet realizes they have to go save Warren. Multiple Man's all salty about it, which rightfully so.
Right.
And it basically ends with the reveal of X-Corp headquarters and how they basically launched their business. Literally launched into space.
This book is a lot to take it because I feel like if Hickman wrote it himself, I would understand it a little bit better because he's a way of conceiving things the way that Teenie Howard doesn't. That's not a knock on Teenie Howard because I'm loving Excalibur. I just don't think her voice was truly in this book, and I think the page count was way too much for me to understand it. And while she's been exceeding in dialogue, I felt that was the part of this book that was so not there. That was not there. I'm gonna still buy it. It's X-Men. I'm still gonna buy it.
See, the dialogue honestly kept me into it, especially with the characters and how, like, I love seeing the inner workings of a business, or in this case, basically a nation.
Right.
Because this is essentially, this book shows what is going to be keeping Krakoa afloat.
Right, 100%.
I would consider it essential in that regard, but it's different enough that I enjoyed it and I'm going to keep buying it. But
correct.
Yeah, the page count was the main thing.
Yeah, that was
should not have been that long.
But the last two books I do want to talk about: Children of the Atom, number 3 by Vita, Ayala, and Paco Medina. We're getting to know these characters. However, they're still addressed on the main page as their alias, and we're getting used to them as people. So it's like it's still written as the same way I've been complaining about it, to where we know these characters and we don't. I'm still going to be behind this book. I'm still holding out hope for it because I like Vita, Ayala. I love their work a lot. So I'm excited. I'm glad that they are actually doing a team project that is introducing new characters. It's just that there are already scripting issues. So before this book was put on the shelves, it got delayed because there were a lot of scripting issues. And so the editorial to tighten it up a little bit. And I think that this book got put out without it being as tightened as it could have been.
Yeah, and then COVID happened,
which is completely okay for me because I know Vita Ayala is newer and they're handling this book and New Mutants, and New Mutants is the stronger of the two, but that's also with characters that have already been established. So I think that I don't know. It's like I know this book can be better. And I'm not really enjoying the way that these characters are being introduced. I enjoy these characters, right? I like the idea of this book. It's just the script is so flawed. I think that's a better word. It could be tightened up. It could be a little bit more structured. It could be a little bit more fastened and tightened a little bit. So that's really a quick rundown of that book. And then X Factor number 9. This is the penultimate issue in this run. It's going up to 10 issues. It's by Leah Williams, art by David Baldeón, and this book is beautiful and I love it. And it's a concert taking in the place of a mission. So the X Factor mission is to help the resurrection process. However, Morrigan, the goddess of death, has really taken over Siren and has messed up the resurrecting process for a lot of mutants that have not been introduced onto Krakoa. So their job is to fix it, and they do that in time for the Hellfire Gala. So the next book is in the Hellfire Gala, and we're getting some Shatterstar, we're getting some Polaris, we got some Dazzler, which I like, and I think that Leah Williams has a great concept of these characters. And David Baldeón's art is fantastic. So I really enjoyed it, and I think each of these characters had their own moment in this that was unique to them. I don't like the way David Baldeón draws Polaris, but the rest of the book looks gorgeous. And of course, this book has to end because Polaris got voted to be on the high count, the quiet council. They don't say the high council, but that's for something else.
And is a member of the X-Men that Jerry Dugan's gonna be relaunching.
Right. So this book inevitably has to end, and I liked it. I really did. Definitely read this book. It's a great read. With that being said, those are all the books that we had to cover today, and today was a fun show. Thank you guys all for your contributions to the live chat. If you are catching the replay, like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys do have a question, you guys can always ask us in the comments below. You can DM us. We're always open, and there will be a lot more content coming out from both Bryce and myself, so definitely pay attention to that. And thank you guys for dealing with me as I have a show almost every single day of the week this week. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. Hopefully you guys had fun. We know we did. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
Take care, you guys.